I'm going to go ahead with the meeting beginning ritual. 起立，面向佛堂，参加先鞠躬，一鞠躬，再鞠躬，三鞠躬，参加各位的传习鞠躬，开班一鞠躬，请坐下。
Okay, so the other big question that was asked during the week was about being patriotic as one of the I-Kuan Tao principles. So the question is this: why is being patriotic one of the I-Kuan Tao principles? Are we not all one? Are the lines that divide us not man-made? And I hope that I am doing a reasonable job here summarizing the question, preserving the flavor of the original question. As you can see, the idea is that when you talk about being patriotic, you seem to be talking about how we should be loving our own country and not loving other countries, whereas in the Tao, I think we are taught to love the entire world and all human beings in it. So surely that is a contradiction. Surely that, that makes it problematic for the inclusion of being patriotic as one of the principles of I-Kuan Tao. I think that is the essence of the question. So those people who are listening online, feel free to let me know what you think, disagree if you like, but this is how I will respond to the question. Okay, I think we're good. So let's go ahead and tackle this question. And I think you will find some surprising answers here and there. So first of all, to respond, what I'll do is I'll work my way from the bottom up. The questions: are we not all one? Are the lines that divide us not man-made? I can respond to those right away. So here we go. By the way, the graphic here is to show everyone where the question comes from. If you, I don't know how clear you can see the screenshots. This is from the website, truedao.org. So truedao.org/Dao, T-A-O, and then you can see the arrow there. The I-Kuan Tao principles. This is the web page that's listing out the different principles. So you'll see that this one here, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth one down, the third principle here is about being patriotic. So this is the source of the question. If you are curious, you can take a look at the original website yourself. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Okay, respond in reverse order. Yes, the dividing lines are artificial. So we look at a map, we see boundaries, we see national boundaries, we see boundaries between states, etc. When we're looking down at the Earth from satellite, from orbit, we don't see those lines precisely because those lines are political constructs. They're man-made. They are, I can even say, these dividing lines are illusory. They foster upon all of us a false sense of separation between ourselves and other people. Even within one country, even within the United States, don't we divide people up and say, well, those people from that state, how they are. If I say Texas, everybody conjures up, Texans and how they are. If I say Californians, oh yeah, those Californians, how they are. New York, etc. Every state is like that, and these are dividing lines that are not real or natural. These are man-made, so I can definitely agree with that. And ultimately, we're all human beings. We're one species. There's no true separation in the Tao. The reason why dividing lines exist is because, oftentimes people are interested in creating a false sense of separation so they can elevate themselves above other people. Hey, look, I'm up here, you're down there. See me up here, you're down there, I'm up here. That's right, I'm higher up than you. That's what the separation allowed them to do, is to put people at different levels, put themselves higher, other people lower, etc. So we want to recognize that those are artificial, those are illusory, those are absolute BS. So we're ready to tackle the first part of the question. So why is being patriotic one of the I-Kuan Tao principles? Let's move on. So what does it mean when I say to be patriotic? So here's the dictionary definition. To be patriotic, to have patriotism, is to love, support. It's all about love, support, and defense of one's country. That's the dictionary definition. In Chinese, it's 爱国. These are the two characters. The first character, 爱, means love. Second character, 国, means country or nation or state. So literally, love country. It's exactly the same as what it says here in the dictionary definition. It's the love, devotion of one's country. So the meaning is the same. So why does the question get asked? As I mentioned, it's about the negative side of that love. The negative side of patriotic fervor is the us versus them mentality. And that's a mentality that's rooted in conflict by default. I think everyone can still agree with that. So, you could easily encounter someone who says, well, I'm a patriot, and you're on my side or you are against us, with us or against us. It's us versus them. It's a mentality that by default goes to clash, goes to conflict, contention. That's one side of it. It's about the violence of possible conflict. The other negative side is arrogance. Our way of life is superior. You see that in today's news reports about people who say, who look at other cultures, other ways of life, and basically say that, well, we don't want any of that to taint our values, our family values, good old American values, etc. And of course, they will list out extreme examples. Oh, did you know that in Sharia law, there's this and that, you will be put to death for not believing, etc. Now, at the same time, they are also discounting all the things that are good and positive and wise that we could learn from other sources. So this arrogance blocks things off. And in ancient times, that's exactly how it was for ancient China. The ancient Chinese were just as arrogant as modern day Americans are. They also look at other people and they said, well, those are unwashed, unclean, savage barbarians. They cannot match the level of civilization that we have here in China, where we have, poetry, we have civilization, we have rules, we have civility, we have all this, we have the fruits of civilization. They have nothing. So they are lower than we are. Remember, separation, higher, lower, it's manifesting that again. So that's the reason why we're asking the question, the negative side, why does it come up, and how is it consistent with the Tao? Now, I want to point out one thing. In the dictionary definition that you see here, it's really this last part that has more to do with the negative side. To defend, like, oh, people are attacking, repel the invaders. We must fight them. We must fight them off. We must battle against them. So the conflict and the feeling of superiority have much more to do with the latter half, with the second half of the dictionary definition. Now, I'm pointing this out as a negative side for a very Tao-oriented reason. In chapter 2 of the Dao De Jing, we learn that no matter what something is, it implies its complementary opposite. If I have someone who's short, like me, then that implies that there are other people who are taller, much taller than I am. If I have something that I call big, it just means that there's something else that's similar but smaller. So big implies small, short implies tall, etc. If I show something that's negative, it implies the existence of something that's positive. So if I see one side of the coin, there's definitely a flip side. In fact, in the Tao, it doesn't just teach implication that it implies, it's even stronger than that. That if you see one side of something, automatically you can be rest assured that the other side is guaranteed to exist. So if there is a negative side to being patriotic, there's also a positive side. Question, what is the positive side of being patriotic? We can see that maybe the first part of it could be the positive side in the dictionary definition. Let's explore. So love for the essence, perhaps you can call it the spirit or the soul of a nation. Love for the essence rather than its borders. Because if the essence of a nation is corrupted or is something that's just overwhelmingly based on fear and hatred, then what are the borders good for? What are you defending? What do you have that's worth defending? So it's really the essence that's the primary thing, not the borders of a nation. What is the essence of a nation? What is the essence of this nation, of the United States? Well, a couple of things we can draw from that. Liberty and justice for all. And I hope that's a familiar phrase for everyone. Can anyone tell me where that phrase comes from? Liberty and justice for all. The Pledge of Allegiance. So for those people who aren't quite sure, maybe remedial civics. And what about this? We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and it goes on to say that endowed by the Creator for certain unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, we know today, in 2017, we know that this has to be updated, that it has to probably be better as that all persons are created equal. Yeah, exactly. It has to be updated to all persons. But where is this from? Any idea? Does anyone know? This, hopefully this sounds familiar. This is from the Declaration of Independence. So this is literally the founding of this nation, and it's because it's from more than 2 centuries ago. That's why men. That's how it was back in those days. Today we know that it has to be persons. But the concept here, the essence, the spirits, the soul, these are what the United States is really all about. Okay. Now there's more. There's more. The United States is the great experiment in history. That is to say, throughout human history, countries, nations form because a group of people at a particular place share the same heritage, that they all grew up there, so they form a nation because of it. So they're all from that area, they all have the same background. The United States is the great experiment in not being like that by design. So the idea is that everyone attracted by the essence of the United States can become here, potentially become an American and partake in the dream. So it's a different kind of nation. What is now here, the people who are now here together, used to be not be here. Used to be just the Native Americans. Okay, today it's very different. So this is a different kind of nation, unlike other nations before. Can it work? Will it work? Well, it depends on whether or not we believe in the essence. So you can love the spirits, the soul of this nation. It means that you have to believe in liberty and justice for all. It means that you have to believe in the essence expressed in the Declaration of Independence. All right, so that's That's right here in the United States. And so I think you begin to see the difference. So now, 爱国, it's a little more nuanced, may not be immediately obvious. This is the Asian side. This is the Tao side. There's a famous phrase from Confucius that will capture it. 修身齐家治国平天下. So notice 国 appears in this phrase. That's right here. A 国, as you would probably recall, means country or nation. Appears here. So let me highlight them for you so you will notice. So what does that mean, that phrase in Mandarin? 修身 means to cultivate the self. 身 means body. Here it means the self. 齐家, it means to unify the family, to harmonize the family, to manage the family. 治国, to govern. 国, the country, the nation. 平 could mean peace, to pacify. 和平 means peace, or it could mean the same level, uniform, as in the same level of justice for all. 平天下, the world. So one translation, I'm offering two translations here. Cultivate the self, unify the family, govern the nation, and bring justice to the world. You can also use the alternate. Cultivate yourself, harmonize your family, govern your country, and bring peace to the world. You can also mix and match, but I think you get the idea. Self, family, nation, world. That's the progression. So this is a very old idea in the Tao, but it's not exclusive to the Tao. Central concept is that the positive change starts within and expands outward. Now, as I said, this is not exclusive to the Tao. We see it in the West, we see it everywhere. For instance, there's a song that talks about how if you want to make a change in the world, then you have to begin. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change by starting with the man in the mirror. So in general, you always have to master your current level before moving on to the next one. So before you can bring happiness and harmony into your family, you better make sure that you cultivate yourself to the utmost extent. Then you have the moral authority to be able to do that. And once you are able to do that, you've proven the ability to do that, move on to the level of the community, the level of the country, and so on. Okay, so now we see the difference, yin and yang, between the Tao, the positive side, and the twisted, the negative side. So in the Tao, I cultivate myself so I can be a better person for others. The twisted version of that, I improve myself so I can surpass others. Everybody see the difference, right? So I cultivate myself. It's not because I love myself and I don't love other people. I'm selfish. I'm just in it for me. That's the twisted version. The Tao version is that I cultivate myself so I can serve other people. I care about their well-being and I want to be better for them. Okay, same with the family. I work towards harmonious love in my home because my family gives me strength. The twisted version, I push my kids to get better grades and go to elite schools because my family tops out the families. I do see many parents who are guilty of this right here. But this is the Tao. My family gives me strength, and let's move on to the country in accordance with the Confucian saying, I serve my country and do my part so we can all live up to its ideals better. Or I defend my country by rejecting any and all foreign elements trying to sneak in and taint the purity of my country. Okay, so this you begin to see is the starting point of the question that I received. But this is the other side. This is the Tao side. And there's more. Once my country is on the right path, it can serve as a beacon of truth and justice in the world. By the way, is the United States there? I would say not by a very long shot. We're not even close. Okay, once my country is powerful enough, it will be able to dominate the entire world. Again, the twisted column. So, what's going on is that the question is all about the bottom half of this table, where the assumption of being patriotic is all about the twisted side. The Tao is all about the Tao. So now we're ready for the answer. The context of being patriotic in I-Kuan Tao is to make one's country better for the ultimate betterment of the entire world. So just because you want to make your family as good as you possibly can, as harmonious as you can, it doesn't mean that you don't care about other families out there. So the context of being patriotic in the principles is not make America great again with xenophobic exclusion of other countries, other cultures, other backgrounds, other perspectives. So
let's go ahead and do the meeting ending ritual, everybody. 起立，面向佛堂，持架三鞠躬，一鞠躬，再鞠躬，三鞠躬，持架规则是一鞠躬，接班一鞠躬。Okay, everybody, we are done.
Participate in the Tao meeting by joining us online. For information, go to taoism.net/Tao